We're a bit rusty. It's been a good 2.5 years since COVID. We haven't done it in 2.5 years, so it's been interesting. There's been a couple of glitches, but I think overall it's gone quite smoothly. We've had probably about half the field come through and collect goodie bags so far. Tomorrow is looking great for weather. Saturday, it's looking absolutely perla. Swell's a little bit up, but I think the guys are going to be able to get out there and launch safely and get out and fish. There's some good colour water, probably about 600 meters offshore. A really nice colour line. We've had obviously quite heavy rains over the last 2-3 weeks, but that's formed a nice colour line of that brown water against the deep blue as you get deeper out. So I think the guys are going to get into a couple of fish tomorrow. On Sunday, we've got a little bit of a west that's coming up, but it's still fishable. But tomorrow is the big day. Tomorrow we've got crayfish comp, we've got big screen rugby, we've got live music, we've got a whole lot of festivities happening down here, all under the tent here at Formula Beach Hotel. Super exciting, cannot wait. Like we said, it's been 2.5 years, so we can't wait to kick this thing off.
Yes, chaps, it's great to be back at Jeepers, and we've missed you guys, we've missed the faces. It's amazing to see you guys, and thank you so much for showing up.
That's the plan. Yeah, the plan is to try to get out. But, one piece. One piece. Yeah. Nervous, shit? Nervous.
Kirk, you live.
Oh, jeez. How's it, guys? Good evening, and welcome to the Go Fish Weekly wrap up here this Thursday. Let me just don a cap here so you don't have to see the grey hair. Good to have the guys on. Chad, good evening. We're going to be chatting a little bit about what's been happening over the last couple of weeks. Fishing's definitely started to heat up a bit here off of Durban area and heading up north towards Cape Vidal. November is historically, as everyone would know, a great time of year for game fish, all the way from Durban slowly starting to heat up with a couple of dories, but all the way up to Santa Maria, Mozambique, even some of the more up-reaching parts of Mozambique. It's a great time, but specifically over the sort of your Santa Maria all the way down to, I'd say, like your Richards Bay area, really is a great time of year now to be out on the water, looking for that purple water, and targeting the popcorn ream, otherwise known as Dorado. And yeah, there's an array of good game fish on to be had at the moment, especially if that north-south current is coming down. We're getting all the tuna and the wahoo and Dorado and that. Good evening, Brendan. He hasn't joined yet. Good evening. Yeah, well, Brendan tries to wake up here. What happened?
Can you see me?
Yeah, Brendan, you there? Are you alive?
Yeah, guys, so it's really starting to heat up. This evening, we're trying to get Cam Sim on to chat to us a little bit about his latest experience up at the Pandon comp. The Pandon comp was finally reinvigorated or sort of came back again, brought back by Piers Colts and Brett from Stealth. I think the last time I remember the Pandon comp running was, I thought, 2011, 2012, maybe a little bit earlier than that. I did one in 2008, but an amazing place. Lee Boyson and the team from Pandon and Andre and them are amazing people, and they really put on a good show. They've got an amazing resort there, as well as some incredible fishing area, especially when that Pandon Express, that current starts going and ripping past that coastline there. You can catch anything and everything off of any craft. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to chat to Cam just now. And then he's also going to be divulging some secrets about his tackle box and what he's taking out over the sort of next couple of weeks as we dive into the summer game fish action. So he's already been making a pig of himself after Pandon. I think he got a nice little Dorado the other day, I see. So yeah, it's good to see him getting on the action. Brendan, are you with us?
I'm not sure. Am I?
Yeah, you are. I can hear you.
Are they?
Here we go. Geez, like you got your best Tom Selleck going on there, bro.
Do you want to see my denim pants? My denim short pants?
No, I'm fine. Thanks. No, we're right. Thanks. We're right. But yeah, Brendan, I think while we're waiting
thanks for carrying on without me. Thanks.
While we're waiting for Cam to link up here, yeah, he says he's going to be on shortly. I think we sort of really getting into the game fish season now. Well, the start of the game fish season, the guys are starting to get some dories off of Durban a bit more frequently. I see a couple of guys got into it already over the last couple of days. Kayaks, jet skis, and ski boats alike.
Cameron.
Yeah, so
Cameron got one today. Kimson got one today.
Yes,
Plastics.
Yeah.
I think it was Aliwal. We'll check with him now.
Yeah, I mean, I see there's some really, really good water moving out off of my place here, out in front of Warner Beach here, and going down south. There's some really good purple water. So, guys, this time of year, there's a lot of people think that it might be a little bit early for wahoo, and maybe that they might not be around. But whenever that purple water comes in, especially off an area like Adderall Shoal, and that north-south current gets going, even if it's just at a sort of slow sort of pace, north-south currents against that northeast pinnacle at the shoal. If you get out there early enough, those wahoo are going to be there. If that water's purple, that north-south current's hitting that shelf, it's creating that upwelling, and you pull some plastics around there. Specifically, I find that that orange Strike Pro the Williamson Speed Pro, the orange Williamson Speed Pro. The 160 works like an absolute bomb. And then the R15 from Halco, that's that chrome pink. That is the 160 DD, works really, really well. There's also an array of Strike Pro lures as well for that time of day to be pulling, early morning. You want to be pulling those sort of darker colors with a little bit of flash in them. So maybe like a purple or a blue or something like that with a little bit of flash on the side works exceptionally well, especially early in the morning. So it's quite a specific time of year now because there's a lot on offer. So, I was thinking about it today while we're getting sort of the kayaks going and the boats ready and whatnot. And thinking about it today and thinking how would I fish an area like the Shoal, because that's the closest spot to me. And there'd be a bit of a conundrum for me because I think with that water that's off there currently, I'd want to try and get out as early as possible, but you also want to try and give yourself a chance with some dead bait for later on. So it's a little bit of a toss-up. Do I go and, sort of puzzle for dead bait for 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, and waste that crucial time, that first half an hour where you can actually pick up wahoo? Yeah, but you're wasting time sort of with live bait where you could actually probably boat 2 wahoo in that half an hour if you just shot straight out to that northeast pinnacle and you were still there as that sort of sun's just coming over the horizon there. That's the time when those wahoo are going to chow properly, and really hit those plastics hard. Not be scared of taking a plastic because they can't really pick up, sort of the plastic properly in the water. They're just sort of more going on vibration and whatnot. And that's sort of when you can fool them the most. So yeah, it's I suppose if you're going out, I'd literally sound around like for 5 minutes on the bait spot. If I can't find anything, I'm straight out to that northeast pinnacle pulling plastics and then possibly taking 1 or 2 dead baits or something like that. But a good morning out, get a couple of wahoo early in the morning, and then maybe 1 or 2 dories and a tuna. Back on the beach by 8. Geez, no one's complaining about that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the lovely thing about summer. You can get out in the water. Well, you can on a kayak. You can launch sort of around about 4:30 at the moment, I think. Actually, even earlier, 4 o'clock now, I think. But I think at this time of year, putting plastics is a really good idea. It's it often at sort of early summer season, you pull plastics around and you're hitting a bit of luck. And like you said, you want to have a quick session before work, and not want to sort of not waste time around live bait. Not the wasting time around live bait, but if you want to just try and get onto the fish as quick as possible, have some plastic attached and to rumble as soon as you hit the water. Because those tuna, they seem to they seem to have come on now. And normally, in the past few years, it's sort of maybe a little bit earlier in October. Those sort of 5 to 8 sort of kg, 10 kg sort of tuna, they're around in bigger numbers, and they enjoy taking those plastics when you pass around through other bait balls or just sort of where those tuna will be, like spots like Schloti, Belito, the Shoal, even like sort of Schlanger sort of area.
Yeah,
and then,
especially
if you can find some larvae, then all good.
Yeah, I think also like there's still a bit of wind around at the moment, and Bruce Bradiseth, who paddles, he's an insane paddler, surf ski and flat water, but river. But like he went out for a paddle the other day, and everyone was fooled by Wind Guru, thinking that wind was going to come through, and it didn't. And the thing is also with this time of year, it's pretty inconsistent with the winds, especially when it's on a west or with an approaching west and that sort of thing. You're not quite sure when it's going to come through. Obviously, you'd rather be a little bit more, a little bit more aware of that west coming through, especially if it's a big one. But with regards to that, the weather reports are a little bit off. So often with regards to those approaching winds, if you want to go out for a quick fish and you want to go close to shore, just pull plastics, because if that wind gets up like a little northeast, if like a 15 knot northeast is predicted or whatever is going to come through, or 12 knot northeast, and it's maybe a day where you'd probably go, I'm going to go to bed. It's sometimes worth getting up in the morning, heading down there, checking it out, and if it's launchable, just go and pull plastics, because with that water being chopped up and that, you're going to have a lot more chance of picking up those pelagics on the plastic at that stage, because they can't really, they just sort of hunting. Whenever they see that plastic in amongst the chop, they're gonna come and smash it. So you'll probably find that there's not too many other oaks in the water, especially if you're off of a boat or a jet ski, pulling plastics in that chop in a little bit of a more choppy, bumpy, windy condition. You'll probably come right. Hey, there he is.
What's happening, Chief?
Cam, how's it?
Sorry I'm late, man. I just got home from the concert.
No, Cam, we appreciate
you. You take your pajamas off.
Yeah, no, just got home from my Lachi's concert, eh? It was all good. Yeah.
No shot, Cam. Thanks for the commitment there, because I know you were rushing home to get back in time.
No, it's all good. Well, I get home in 15 minutes. She says, yeah, probably. And I got home in like 10, eh? So it was good, eh? Good timing. Yeah.
So, Cam,
Yes, sir.
we're just talking about sort of some of the fishing that's been going on at the moment, and we're sort of getting into the season, just the start of the season now. I know you've already started making a pig of yourself after coming back from Pandon. Was it this morning that you got that dory?
Yeah, I got a dory this morning, correct, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, the water's looking really good. It's clean. It's I know down south it's really clean. I don't know where you got that dory.
Yeah, I got it down south.
Is it that? Yeah. So it's looking really, really good down south, and it definitely looks like Dorado water that side. Tell us about Pandon, bro.
Bro, that place is like Ponta and Mealy and all that is great fishing. Don't get me wrong. But like Pandon is definitely, you either love it or you hate it. You have to obviously kind of know what you're doing there. You can't just be like a first timer and go to Pandon and catch fish. You got to obviously know the reef systems. You got to know, like, obviously tide is very important there. Tide is super important. Wind direction is very important. Like when we got to Pandon now, I was there in June. We had 26.5 degree water for 5 days, and the fishing was amazing. And it was in the southeast. We arrived there 2 weeks ago, and the water was like 21 degrees green, reverse current. Yeah. What do you do now? And that throws everybody, because everyone just wants to pull baits around, pull rappies, go and jig, and now changes the whole dynamic of things. What do you do? So you got a puzzle now, and still there's still fish there. Even though, like, if it was Durban, you had the cold water and all that, the fish is going to be dead. We're there, you still catch fish, and it's an amazing place. So definitely, if you've never been there, it's a definite. I'll make an effort and get there. Eh?
Yeah. I think when we were there, I think I was there in 2008 with Chelly when we did the we were helping out with the comp and that, and I fished the comp. Yeah. But like the one thing I noticed there more than anywhere, because because there's so many species available that you want to be in with a sharp on the points. You've got to fish all day. Because
it's not have a quick morning fish and then come back. If you want to target the species, you have to put the effort in. And tide is very important there. So you catch different species on different tide there. So if you're only there for like a few days, you're obviously going to have around about the same tides every day you're there. So you obviously want to do like morning, midday, and afternoon, just to have your best opportunity at targeting all the species.
Yeah. 100%.
So we were like launching first light, beaching at like 12, and then we were relaunching again at 1:30, you know what I mean? And then fishing till like 3:30, 4. And it was tough, eh? But lucky we had the weather though to help us through every day. So yeah, and I was fished all 5 days. And plus we fished 1 or 2 days before the comp, eh? So we're like 7 days on the water, eh? It's tough.
And then you got to try to find time to squeeze in 1 or 2 R&Rs as well.
Exactly. No, the eyes were broken by 8 o'clock. The sunburn though got us. Our feet and our hands and all that were charred lacquer by the sun. Eh? It's tough, eh?
And you came
but
back.
Definitely.
Sorry. You came back. Went and caught a dory this morning, and then we got his concert. Yes.
Exactly. I know life is tougher. You know what I mean? You got to frustrate.
Don't say that too loud, because you with your missus are listening in there.
But yeah, that was my first paddle since I've been back, and it was a good one. Eh? There was quite a lot of Dorado around. They came under the ski this morning. There was plenty dories, but it was only that one shoal we found, and we couldn't find any more. Eh? Water was clean, not the warmest, but it was 23.5 degrees. Thought it'd be a bit warmer after the west, but it was still a slight reverse current. Eh? The current.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was reverse, and I thought it was going to, because I know on the Sharksport report it's been saying north to south. That's why I headed down south, and no, and I got there this morning. It was a bit reverse. Pulled the live mackerel around for a few hours, and I couldn't lose it. But you go catch a dory on rapies. How does that work?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you loading that thing with a rock in its mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was interesting.
It's just right time, I suppose.
Right time, yeah. But you know, it's a good sign they're here already. Sorry?
No, carry on.
No, what I'm saying is, yeah, so obviously it's a very good sign that the dories are here already after like the West. I don't know how many, I know the guys have been getting dories on the boats and all that, but it's a nice to get them on the ski again early in the season like this. So I think we're in for a very, very good season. Eh?
Yeah.
Just wait for the West, wait for the West and hit it.
100%, yeah. What do you want to say, Brendan?
No, they often, like we always say, those dories sort of tend to head further south first. They get into sort of Shoal, Pennington, that sort of area, and then they sort of move into Durban area afterwards. So I think that
correct
pushes down, passes Durban, then pushes inwards afterwards.
Yeah. Always in that Durban basin from like Mkwazi to like Bluff. Always that cold water sits around in that current always comes past, hits like Toti first, you know. So only like from like mid-December-ish do you start getting the dories on the barges and stuff like that, eh?
Yeah.
I think it's probably got to do with a lot of the sort of northeasterly winds.
That's it.
The current pushes down, and then the winds push it in close shore.
That's it. Eh? Like now, you know, it's such a great time of the year now. Like you're getting all your yellowfin and you're getting your snook. So basically, it becomes like where the northeast blows go for your snook and your yellowfin and all that, and the west blows go for your dories. You know what I mean? So it makes it interesting now. So like every morning that is available, you can actually go and target a different species, depending on the weather.
Yeah. I was just saying as well, like it's an exciting. I mean, obviously we fish being close to the shoal. That's pretty much the local for me. But I mean, like it's such an exciting time of year to fish that shoal because you can, if that north-south current is against that northeast pinnacle, it's like Dorado, Wahoo, freaking tuna. You know, it's just everything's on offer. Yeah.
I mean, that Aliwal Shoal, I fish there a lot on Muskia. It's one of my favorite places to fish, And I was actually chatting with John the other day, and every single year when we go, like we start like going probably in around about March, start hunting the wahoo. We always end up getting dories on the shoal in March, which is quite late. And then last year we were fishing in late April, early May, and going with our live bunnies, and those were still catching Dorados on the shoal. Yeah, it's great. I mean, I got a dory on my live bunny. So it just shows you that place. It's one of the better places to fish.
If water and the right current, you'll get those wahoo and those Dorado anytime.
You get Kuda also come wild though. No, it's a very good place to go and fish. Bit of a paddle, but it's nice.
Yeah, no, it's doable on the boat because I don't go out on the paddle.
You know, it's interesting because I'm part of that Grand Slam now on the kayak. So like every time you go on the boat now, it's like a wasted morning for me because I need to get this piece for the Grand Slam. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's interesting.
No. So Cam, tell us a little bit about. We were hoping to have Charlie and that sort of thing on tonight, but unfortunately he's on his way back from Maritzburg and that. But I think just I'm so chuffed that him and Pierre have got that comp back up and going out of Pandon. The Oaks have been begging for it for a long time. I know Lee and Andre have been like they've been begging for them to come back and host it again. And I'm just so chuffed from that he's got it back off the ground because I think, you know, seeing this year's one, I think next year is probably going to double, and the following year,
definitely,
you know, just continue to grow. So it's something that I'm so chuffed back. But so congratulations to the Stealth team and Pierre and all the Oaks that were involved.
No, they've put an amazing effort. There's a lot of work to get a comp like that going, eh?
Well, that
definitely.
I know them, It's great.
Yeah, the logistics on it, yeah. And you know, they've done the road up nicely now. It's actually not a bad drive to get there anymore. I mean, we got there now in 14 hours. The road's all tarred the whole way through. Couple 1-2 potholes, but most of the time you can do 100 the whole way through. Obviously, you go through the town, just slow down. But there's no more detours and off on the sand anymore and all that. It's tar all the way through now.
And the cops and that, did the Oaks get any hassles?
We got pulled over about 11 times on the way up. But they were just doing routine checks, passports, where's your third party and all that. And then on the way home, we didn't get pulled over once. And apparently from Chile and all that, they didn't get pulled over way and back, eh? So,
Oh, really?
yeah. I see they were
Sure.
pulling a lot of the local taxis
Yeah, but
over,
who was-
but not so much the tourists.
Who's in your car? You and Jono?
Yeah, me, Jono, and Tyron Byrne were in the car with me, yeah.
Well, there you go. That's why you got pulled over.
Yeah, Jono took, I drove to about Maputo, and then Jono took the wheel. And then we go over this long straight downhill, and he says, "Yo, I can do like 200 down this hill." So he put his foot down and choose Bob up, come pull over.
Oh,
And you want to see a guy go, "What?" The stoke shats himself, though. Yeah, that was the only fine we had to pay, eh?
Oh, is
Yeah.
it?
Mm.
So, Cam, tell us a little bit about what you are packing in your tackle box when you're tackling like fish now, moving. Sort of like if you were fishing tomorrow, you probably are fishing tomorrow. But moving forward, probably from tomorrow going forward over the next sort of 2 to 3 weeks, what are you putting in your tackle box? What are you looking at?
It depends on area. For example, like if I'm going to Umshloti versus Ediwell Shoal is going to be two complete different tackle boxes. So yeah, like this morning I went to Ediwell. So I obviously had my daisy chains. Well, how I started the morning was I had 2 Rapalas and a daisy chain, and then on my fourth rod I had a Uzuri. So I went and got some live bait first,
Where
and
did
then
you launch,
started the paddle. I launched at Greenpoint.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so I launched at Greenpoint, and then got some lavies on the back line and all that. Filled up with my lavies, and then I put out a R15, and I put out like it was a X-Wrap proper Rapala, and then also my daisy chain out far. So I was pulling 3 things out, and that's what I start with. And then obviously when I get to the shoal, I'll still do the Rapalas and all that for like the first half an hour. I will see what's happening. After that, I'll either switch to lavies or to live bunnies, depending on what comes first. More often than not, it's the live bait, because the bunnies normally turn on a bit late. And then I will just do 1 bunny if I'm got a live bunny out, or if I'm doing bait, I'll do 2 baits. And then obviously I keep a variety of, I keep some stick baits, I keep some spare Rapalas, I keep spare daisy chains, circle hooks, wire. Because if I put a mozzie out, I'll just put on a circle hook, but if I put a mackerel out, I'll put on wire. And then I just keep a couple spoons, eh? So I keep it a bit light on there. And then if I go to like Umshloti, I'll do the crystal minnows in the morning and maybe a couple of the 120 R15s, and then fillets.
Yeah, you're pulling for snook early in the morning, or you're going to the drop off?
No, what I'll do in the morning always on Umshloti, I'll always start with rapies first, or I'll do a rapie and a fillet. I actually prefer to do the mix. And funny, that fillet actually catches more than just snook. You catch cuda on it, you catch tuna on it, you catch all sorts. So it's quite a versatile bait. Eh?
It's amazing, but I mean, I haven't caught a cuda on a fillet down south, but I've caught off from Floaty a couple.
Yeah.
So it's
weird. Eh? Like I was actually chatting with Johnny today. We've never actually off Clanshell, off Umkomas we've caught snook, but never off Clanshell have we caught snook before. Like up towards that Greenpoint there, we've never caught snook in there. Yeah, and we've been there a few times and we've never seen the snook bust there or anything like that. So it's not a fish I'll go there to target, you know what I mean? So I can leave all those things behind. Yeah.
I think the snook that time of year around that place, you've got to go March, April is
April.
Time for snook there. Really, that's the time. Really. That's when everything comes on at that time there. But specifically, if you're wanting to go for snook, March, April's your time there. Is
or down south.
Yeah, more down south. Like you get that river water that comes through. As soon as that river water starts pumping, and then you get that blue against that brown there, it just goes off there with all the snook.
No, for sure. Yeah.
And okay, so Clotey, you're going with some plastics for snook and that sort of thing, and 1 plastic, 1 fillet. What do you go? Are you pulling those the Strike Pros there, the Strike Pro or Crystal Minnows?
I pull those Crystal Minnows. They've actually proven themselves quite valuable. I won't lie. And you can pull them actually quite fast. But sometimes you get a bit of a dud one that spins a bit, but you just got to play around with it. So are we talking about Umshloti now?
Yeah, floaty, yeah.
Yeah, floaty, yeah. So definitely I'll start the morning with like a fillet and a crystal minnow. Also watch the guys, see what the oaks are using and all that, and be ready to change to another fillet or another crystal minnow depending on what's working. So keep and then also what works nice are those slow pitch jigs, eh? Don't underestimate that. Keep 1 or 2 in your box for that. For snook, no, it's a good thing for snook. Yeah, and then
How are you
also
working
those,
at for snook, Cam?
sorry.
How are you working at slow pitch for snook? Are you working it as a slow pitch, or are you casting it, working it more as a spoon? How do you actually?
You know, you got to watch the showings, because sometimes you'll see, like, say, like floaty, when you catch a snook there, you're fishing like 15 meters plus, and you'll see those arches on your finder. Say they're like 6 meters under the boat, but now you're pulling a rapie and a fillet, and you're like going over the showings, but you're not getting a bite. So I'll like loop back, and then I'll throw the spoon or the slow pitch forward, or I'll go twisty, let it sink, let it sink, let it sink, and then you work it quite fast on the way up, and the snook 9 times out of 10 chow, eh? Prefer them to eat it on the twisty though, because you got a better chance of landing it. But sometimes they don't want the twist, and sometimes they try the slow pitch. Just depends.
Yeah.
And I've also got a nice big cooler there in June on the slow pitch. Unfortunately, got tax next to me. But doing the same thing, just look for the showings. And if you're not getting the bites on your Helco or your fillet, work the spoon. Make it happen. Sure.
Yeah.
But obviously having a finder.
What size slow pitches are you
pitch? Slow pitch. There were at Pandon, you guys, the slow pitches were working really well, eh?
Yeah, you see again because of that water. Okay, we were using the squiddies first and the drop shots and all that, but the water was a bit dirty, and we were getting bites, and then but we weren't like, what Mozambique's like. You see that showing on a good drop off, you're gonna go down, you're gonna go on. The difference, we were battling to go on, so you got to change it up, adapt, and so we slowed down the jigging, put the slow pitches on, and actually end up being deadly. Got most of the fish on the slow pitch. Got everything on the slow pitch. Got yellowfin, rainbow runner, bludgers, green spots. We got car carp. We got it all on the slow pitch.
That slow pitch has changed
that's what differentiates good anglers, and that's why you're a good angler, because you're always working, and you're working, sort of trying to think ahead of the fish.
Yeah, try to think like a fish. Why? Yeah. The water's dirty, so you got to give that fish a chance. It's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't just go there with it. Don't go there because. Yeah, I see a lot of guys will be like, what you see, like, well, not everybody, like the new guys, they just see, okay, we're going to Mozambique, you must use a squiddy, and they will work that squiddy all day at a fast pace, and they'll battle to catch. Also, maybe they're not putting in the right place, you don't know. But definitely with that slow pitch, it definitely was like 1 down, 1 fish, where the squiddy was like 3 or 4 downs before you get like an on-off or something, So, and you're fishing in a species comp, and you can't afford to waste time, So you want to try to get as many bites as possible in the shortest time period. And that's what you got to try puzzle.
I think what a lot of guys don't understand with regards to where slow pitches changed fishing for oaks like yourself and Brad Arthur and that sort of thing that are species fishermen, but anglers in general now that are using slow pitches, once you start understanding how current plays a role in current and conditions and whatnot, but more specifically I'd say current, is when current and temperature differs. When you get a slack or no current, your fish start getting lazy. When you start getting a reverse current, it puts fish off the bite. When you start getting a cold water, again, fish don't want to feed. So you've got to go for more of the irritating type tactic. So you're working that slow pitch a lot slower. It's spending a lot more time in the strike zone, and you're irritating that fish into challenge.
That's it. And the best thing about the slow pitch also is, like with squiddy, you got to be vertical with a squiddy for it to get the right action. You can't squid jig at a 45 degree. The slow pitch, you can do it at any angle. You can cast it 20 meters from you, let it sink, and you can work that slow pitch at any angle. So it changes everything now. And I think it actually works better at a slight angle, because now you're in that zone a little bit longer.
Yeah. And now, Cam, like on that slow pitch setup, just to give us a bit of an idea, when you're looking at your depths and that sort of thing, let's say you're fishing in a slackish current, and on your depths, what sort of sizes are you going with according to?
Well, it also depends on the size leaders and braid you have. So I had the 40, 50, and 60 grams. I was using my 30-pound setup with a 30-pound leader, and I was using the 40 gram at 40 meters. And I was getting down, no problem, up and down, straight. But remember, there was no wind, no current. Okay, but I think if you're like 60-pound braid and a 50-pound leader or a 60-pound leader, that 40 grams is going to battle to get down. So you just got to match your tackle, what you're using. I generally fish very light. I mean, I don't use anything. My heavy setup for the amberjack and all that was a 40-pound braid with a 40-pound leader. That was my heavy setup. Where other guys were using like 85-pound and all that. And the only reason, how hard can one pull on a kayak?
Yeah.
You know, for me to go use 60 or 70 pound, I'm never going to pull that hard anyways. So now the lighter braid you go, the faster your jig's going to sink, because that braid's got resistance in the water. So does your leader. So just downsize a bit, and you'll see what a difference it actually can make.
And it gives the lure a lot better presentation as well.
100%.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I
that's,
mean, I know a lot of the good
So are
guys
you gonna
always
do? Are
say,
you
rather fish light and get the
going
bites.
to be
than,
using slow pitch a lot more locally?
yeah, definitely. It's one of those things you should never go fishing without it. Basically, definitely a game changer. You can target everything with it. From kuda. I mean, I know a couple of people that have been fishing for kingies and they're catching doggers on them. I mean, what haven't they caught? You know what? That's what you got to ask yourself. What haven't they caught? So if you put that thing in the right place, and it's not a hard lure to not put in the right place. You can fish it anywhere. You can go to the barges with it. Okay, the shad might nail you a bit there, but you can go to any drop off or any reef system and work a thing, and you'll be amazed what you can actually catch on a day. It's definitely a game changer.
Are you fishing with a proper micro jig setup there, Jono?
No, I use a medium light Travella with a Ghost of 5000.
Okay, all right. Okay, so
that's my setup. Yeah. And then my heavy setup is a Ghost of 10,000 with a medium heavy Travella.
Okay, so you're not going for the overhead.
No, the overhand. No. Yeah. I just pop it. I just bounce it slowly, and you give it like half a wind up. Bounce it. You can actually feel the jig when you pull it up. You can feel it like twitching your line, so you know when it's getting the right action. You'll feel your rod tip bouncing when you pull it up, and then you just let it sink. So wind it up, and then drop your tip low so the line coils, and let it sink naturally, and then you give it like half a wind. And if your find is good enough and you're under, you can actually see where your jig is, and then you'll see it come out the column. Now let me drop it back down, or you must just guess if you're to the side or something.
Yeah.
Definitely takes some practice using the slow pitch. You can't just go and use it first time and up. It takes some practice. That's why I say go fish with it locally and just go and watch other guys and steal your eyes, and you can actually learn a lot from that. Yeah.
So any top tip for this time of year for oaks that are just trying to go out and get into a fish?
Look, depending, you see, you get people that just go out there and do live bait, and you get people that go out there and want to like work water. So like, if you're going to go to like a floaty, especially this time of the year, remember after these west now and year after year, you'll get like, I've seen a lot of people catch wahoo on the strike pros and I'm floaty and all those sort of things. So definitely I would do like a skip bait if you're not going for snook. So we're going to write snook off. We're going to go for kuda, tuna, dorado, wahoo, salies, whatever. And you feel like going to a floaty or Westbrook or something like that. I would definitely do like a 120 R15 and like a skip bait of any sort, a sod or a red eye or a Japmac, and go burn that around for the first hour until the sun is shining nicely and all that. And that's what I would start with. And then depending on what you get your bites on, switch to it. Or if it's a bit quiet, go try find some live bait or something like that. But keep a slow pitch handy in case you see showings that you can't get a bite on. Yeah. Like I think if you had to see Dorado, telling you now, I haven't done it, but I think if you had to see that shoal of Dorado and you throw a slow pitch into it and you let it sink, that Dorado's going to chow on the way down, guaranteed.
Must.
And with the nice thing with all those little hooks on it, I don't think it's going to be easy to lose that Dorado either.
Yeah. 100%. I agree. I've got a couple of photos from the Pandon weekend here. I'm just going to try and see if I can actually screen share it. It's not the best. I've only got some off of our WhatsApp, so don't worry, Cam. There's not any incriminating stuff here. Let me see
I don't do anything incriminating.
Cam, what? It's okay. I don't even know if I'm able to do this. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I am very technologically disadvantaged here. Cam, am I doing it right, bro?
I'll just see you, bud.
Yeah, you got it. The other cam.
The other cam.
Oh, other cam.
Right, so, so obviously you've got to have the token.
The Deutsch, you've got to have that. Yeah. Have you seen that new beer they got there, that chiller?
No.
Bro, it's what a beer.
What is that now? What is it? A beer, or was it like a
It's a beer.
flying fish?
It's like the new Mozambican beer. Like Deutsche is like outdated now. Everyone's dropping these chillers now.
Oh no! Yes, you're getting me
Yeah.
amped now, Kazi.
Yeah, it's actually that guy.
A couple of boys in the boat there. I don't know. I think this was also on the way up.
Yeah.
Decca and his crew. That's at Pandon, Cam.
That's at Pandon. Yeah, that's Tyron, Byrne, and Jono standing there. Oh no, that's me. That's me and Tyron. Yeah, that's the launch at 6 o'clock at Pandon.
Oh my word! It looks amazing. Look at that.
Mm.
That.
I mean,
stellar
look at that.
Taken by Dick Lang. Oh. Now that's the Oaks going out. The points on the right there, top right hand corner of the screen.
The points on the right there, correct. But you can see how green the water is. Even though it looks clean, it was dirty. Yeah.
Sure. Unreal. And what the guys were saying is they got it's well you you said to me earlier today that on the final day things start coming right, eh?
Yeah, so from Monday to Thursday we had green, the same water, same winds every day, light northeasters, and then Thursday evening the southeaster picked up, and by Friday morning that water was ink and it was warm over day. Yeah, so that was a nice cock up
of a job, eh? Jeez, like it's a nice job fish.
That was on my medium light, eh?
And there, I don't know who took that, where it was taken, but yeah. Anyway, it's the R&R.
Yeah, that was at that Pandon beach bar.
Yeah, Scott Hunter and Rob Waits. Rob Waits is one of the legends of Pandon. Scotty.
Yeah.
But and there's a couple of funny stories about Rob Waits. I don't know if you were privy to any of them while you were up there, of Rob Waits and Led Shooter and Keith Lockley when they used to travel up there. But
I didn't know about those.
A couple of absolute crackers, with Oaks getting a little bit too revved up on the R&R and thinking they were weeing in the cupboard, but they weeing in the toilet, but they weed on their mate in the bed. No, it was a dog show.
But you know what's nice about a trip like that, even like at your race tech comps and all that, is when you get a group of guys like that together, the info that gets shared amongst everyone, and that's where you actually learn your biggest tips. But you've got to be strong enough to take that knowledge and actually go and apply it and use it, even if you're out your comfort zone, and adapt to it, and it makes a difference. Everyone's got their own little tips and tricks what they use, but when you look at somebody else's little things that they use and you look at that and how can I apply that to my trace that I'm making, and you just puzzle from there, and that's and eventually you get to where you think it's good enough, and until you go to a comp like Pandon, and you're with the big boys there and others can fish there.
It's amazing. Like in 2008, when I went up there with Chelly and we were sharing a cottage with Brad. It was Brad, Chelly, and I don't know if Marcus was there, but Brad Arthur specifically. I mean, that is the king of that area.
That is a machine.
It's great. So every yes, it felt like I was in school every single day. But when we cut back from fishing, so I would like stick with that oak, and I would come back at the same time as him. I would launch at the same time as him, and I'd get back, and we'd go to the village, and you just check that oak's mind, just downloading everything that happened from the session, and then he just brings out a tackle box and he turns everything upside down that he had in his tackle box, and he starts coloring in his drop shot colors, and freaking, it was just like. It was unbelievable, bro. It was unbelievable, yeah.
No, watching that fish, it's amazing. And also like Marcus and all them, their knowledge on that place. If they want that species, they'll go and catch that species. It's not if buts and maybes.
You see the golden kingy for Marcus.
Yeah, that's like a swear word. But like Brad Arthur, he didn't go to coconut once on the first few days. Then he needed a rainbow runner. He just goes to coconuts and boom, he gets his rainbow runner. Like that, it's like shopping for him. Like pick and pay. Just go and take what you want. Like with us, we got a puzzle. You know what I mean? And get lucky every now and then.
It feels like looting to him. It's shopping. Yeah.
Exactly. No, but that's experience. I mean, they've been going there for years. They know that place like the back of their hand. And you can take your hats off to them. And they paddled. They paddled hard. He fished hard also. He fished every day.
Unreal, unreal.
Yeah,
guys, and then I think there are a couple of fish that the guys we're going to be tapering it off and finishing off shortly. But there's Villa and some of the family members that got some fish. Where was that? Brendan, was that Sedwana or St. Lucia?
I think of Richards Bay.
Of Richards Bay, eh?
One of the dories was a 14 KG one. But, oh no.
Yeah, I think the card. I think I've got it. This is Rory Kane during the week as well. That got a really nice tune-up together with Byron as well.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Another lovely
Jared
Dory,
Cook.
yeah.
That was Rocky Bay,
Off Durban. This is Gerard sent us his photos at Brendan.
Yeah,
From their trip,
but he
trip
didn't
up
want you
to
to share
Canada, I
them.
think it was.
Yeah, but he said not to share them.
Is it? No, don't talk up. Really?
Oops.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, let's push past those then. So
Maybe some
yeah,
maybe
been
some
some
much were there. Maybe so much were there. They told their wives they were working or something. I don't know.
But yeah, guys, Cam, thanks so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it, bro.
Pleasure, buddy.
And
All good.
Yeah, geez, appreciate you racing back from the concert. I hope you put on a good show for the kids there.
Yeah, I'll try my best. Yeah.
No, thanks, cousin.
Thank-
Yeah, I wish you all the best for the season, bro. And
Thanks, you
yeah,
guys
thanks
too,
again for taking the time, man.
Like a shot, Kazi. Go well, guys. Cheers, eh?
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Cheers.
bro. Yeah, chaps, and then I think just to finish off, we've got, there's a lot of tour action. Stay tuned to our Facebook page. We've got some awesome tours lining up: Mozambique, Tanzania, Seychelles, Fiji. So stay close. We're going to be updating the Facebook page shortly for you to book for next year. It's all happening out that side, and then also we're going to be loading the Pamula comp, the footage from that and the episode from that comp. It's come out really, really nicely, and we finally managed to get all the footage from all the oaks, and we managed to put it all together. So that'll be, I don't know, dropping either tomorrow or during the weekend sometime, Brendan, I assume. I think Cam will know better than us. But yeah, so that'll be...
Cam's a great job, but there's a couple of little logos and things into there, but yeah.
Yeah. And then, we're running some specials on clothing as well. So get on to the website, clothing site, and check those specials out, as well as our Facebook page as well, guys. And then we're going to be fishing soon as well, chaps. So stay tuned for some live updates, because we're getting into the season. Things are going to start heating up. There's going to be some fish on offer. And get in touch with us if you want to know anything, if you want to ask any questions, if you're coming down to Durban side and down south here, get in touch with us, and we'll try our best to get you the right info, get you on the fish. You're going to try fish tomorrow?
I wanted to, but I don't think it's going to happen. But, looks good tomorrow, so hopefully we'll see some fish popping up on the social feeds.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, and the race tech comp. We've got a date set for our, the big jet ski comp, the world's biggest jet ski comp, the race tech Yamaha Jet Ski Classic, 7th to 12th of March. So guys, if you jet ski fisherman and you're keen, that's the date to pencil in. We'll put it out in the next couple of days properly onto our various social media platforms, etc. But yeah, that's the date, and we're going back to Ponta. We're good.
And that's the comeback, chaps. So that's the first time we're going to have it since before COVID. Well, no, we had one just after. Yeah, it was. It's the first one since before COVID.
Well, we basically got out of
a month after.
We got out of Mozambique just in time. Yeah. So it's the first one since COVID, guys. So it's going to be an absolute cracker. And there's a couple of changes as well that we can look forward to as well that are pretty exciting, that we're really excited about. Some new things and new things that we've introduced. And yeah, guys, it should be an incredible comp as well next year. So we'll drop those details over the next couple of days, and hope to see you all there. But I don't know if there's anything else from your side, Brendan. No. Big time.
All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. And again, a massive thanks to Cam for imparting all that knowledge. Not our cameraman, Cam Sim. Appreciate that, Cam, and thank you, Cam, for also filming and sorting out tonight's stream. And boys, we'll see you in the next 2 weeks. Thank you.